Are beyond. It's entertainment. It is nourishment for our soul. You're encouraged to go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney and hit the link to support the Rodney Appleby experience. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are also an important part of our ability to continue to provide quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances. You can always reach me here at the station, or you can reach me directly at rodneyappleby57@gmail.com or at 706-362-5328. I look forward to hearing from you. Please tune in through the week for other interesting programs with our 106 family. We appreciate your support.
106 R&B and Throwbacks on 106 Live Radio. Atlanta's music leader.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here at the Rodney Appleby Experience, where together we can explore the mysteries of music. Without your presence, this will be impossible. I appreciate you tuning in to be part of our program.
Welcome to the Rodney Appleby Experience, broadcasting live every Tuesday night, 7 to 8 p.m. with the one, the only Rodney Appleby. And now, Mr. Rodney Appleby.
So good evening, y'all. Welcome and thank you for tuning in to the Rodney Appleby Experience here at 106 Live Radio, where excitement meets diversity. Here at the Rodney Appleby Experience, we like to see life through the mysteries of music. So come on, let's take that ride tonight. This evening, what I'd like to take a look at is what I call musical choices. Musical choices happen to be, I guess, creative choices. And those creative choices have to be based on something. And so I'd love to hear from the creative thinkers who tuned in tonight. And I look forward to your input and the valuable insight it can provide into tonight's discussion. Musical choices are clearly based on the writer's expressions or the writer's intent. And it involves using the musical toolbox, a lot of the things that we've been talking about in previous episodes, and using this musical toolbox to decide things like the tempo, the rhythms, the modes, and the blends as the best representation or the best representatives, or which best represents the writer's intent. And as usual, you're always encouraged to grab your favorite instrument and follow along as we navigate through these musical ideas. Now, in previous episodes, as we scratched the surface of some of these musical concepts, talking about numbers in music, talking about the circle of fifths, talking about the 12 keys, talking about the different things, and the music study, actually studying music and the stages of learning and all those kinds of things. Tonight, I would like us to begin to maybe put some of those things together, to actually begin the process of bringing in all these individual concepts and ideas and putting them to use in some kind of way and see what it brings to us. Now, each week, bringing information that can open doors, answer questions, and help to solve some mysteries. And of course, with your support, your participation, and your feedback, we can always dig deeper and build higher each time you tune in. So call in, share your experiences and your discoveries, and something, again, that might seem insignificant or small to you could be that one little piece that just solves the mystery. So there's no understanding or no epiphany too small to bring to the table. So always feel free to call in and share your aha moments. And as you stay with us, we're going to push beyond the boundaries. So I invite everybody to give a call. The number again, 404-464-8785. Call in and let's have this conversation, y'all. I look forward to hearing from you. Take me with my heart and my mind wide open. Please set me free.
106liveradio.com. Call us now at 404-464-8785.
Greetings. This is Rodney Appleby, host of the Rodney Appleby Experience. To bring you quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances, your support is very important. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are an important part of our ability to provide you the kind of experience you deserve. Please go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney. There, you'll find a link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. While tuned in on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for alerts and updates. And you can download the 106 Live Radio app to receive notices of upcoming podcasts. And once again, thank you for your support.
Download the 106 Live Radio app from your Google Play Store. Or find us on the TuneIn app.
So welcome back, y'all. As usual, I invite you to call in 404-464-8785. So glad you're here. And as we begin our discussion, as I promised, each week, I'm always going to remind you, just a reminder of the 4 stages of learning. That introduction and how it can confuse, which is actually just a signal there's nothing wrong. And knowledge development or study, which can create a little hesitation, which is a signal. It doesn't mean anything is wrong. And then practice or skill development, which can be a little frustrating, which is not anything wrong. It's a signal and it's encouragement to push past it because the reward is just on the other side of that 3rd stage of learning when you go into demonstration or being able to apply what you've learned, and the excitement, the relief, and the confidence that you build when you reach that stage. So don't give up. Always push through the learning stages so that you can get to that reward at the end. And just simply by recognizing this pattern, it will help reduce anxiety and it will make the learning process less stressful. So just trust the cycles, just trust the seasons of learning. And tonight, let us take a look at some basics in music for the purpose of examining some of the possibilities and discuss how those possibilities can be creatively useful. We've talked about the 12 keys. I've talked about some basic chords like majors and minors. Talked about the modes, meaning the 7 positions in a scale, or the 2 modes in music, which are major or minor. And I want to add to that discussion meters, tempos, and rhythms. And so tonight I kind of want to get into that because I think, and what I've seen, I used to work with some hip hop dudes, and they were very creative young men, had some great grooves and things. And I noticed that they ran into some problems when trying to get a particular drum beat to sound just right or to be very smooth. And they couldn't quite figure out why there was what I call the hiccup or that skipping sound, like something wasn't quite lined up. And so what I suggested to them was to not look at the tempo, how fast or slow, or not necessarily to look at whether it's an eighth note or a 16th note, how you should quantize, for those of you that remember that, the quantizing of these machines. But I asked them to take a look at the meter. That's kind of the basic or the foundation of how a song is going to move. It's how the beats are divided up. And there's two basic meters in music. Two. Believe it or not, only two. Just like there's major mode and there's minor mode. There's either duple meter, meaning things are broken down into twos, 1, 2, 1, 2, or there's triple meter, where things are divided up by threes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so when we examined what they were doing and began to switch up the meter to say whether it was duple meter or whether it was triple meter, all of a sudden they found the glitch and was able to smooth things out. So just by knowing the difference between duple meter and triple meter changed how they began to actually write and record their music, and how they even paid attention to rapping and how it was all broken down in the rhythmic possibilities. It really did open up a lot for those guys. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk a little bit about how can you recognize whether or not something's in triple meter or whether it's in duple meter, or the other way to say it is whether it's divided up by 2 or whether it's divided up by 3. By 2, it's duple. By 3, it's triple. And so there's simple duple meter where it's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And there's simple triple meter where it's just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, last week, I used a couple of songs that are very simple and everyone knows them. I used Mary Had a Little Lamb and I used Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Now, I didn't do that by accident. I did that because, first of all, they're both very simple. They're both very recognizable. There's nothing difficult about them at all. And one is duple meter. The other is triple meter. And I would like to see if you know the difference. So I'm going to grab my guitar. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a little bit of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And I want you to tell me if you can recognize whether or not it's duple meter or triple meter. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. All right, here we go. Now, first one, I'm going to just do row, row, row your boat. So if it's just simply row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Is that duple meter or is it triple meter? Here we have Mary Had a Little Lamb. I'm going to do them relatively quickly back to back so that you can get a closer contrast. So, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Is that duple or is it triple? Once again, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Now, I'm going to kind of tell you the secrets. Okay, now I'm going to put my guitar down because I don't need my guitar in order to show you the meter. I just wanted to make sure they were both in the same key. So now, if we're doing, first I'm going to do Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I'm just going to clap my hands with just simple 1, 2, 1, 2. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. So if I'm just doing twos, is that duple meter or is it triple meter? I'm giving you the answer at the same time. So 2, 1, 2. Mary had a little lamb. So if it's 2, we know it's duple. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at Row Your Boat, and let's see if it works as duple. We're just going to try it with duple first because 2 comes before 3. So let's see. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Does that feel quite right? Let me try it with 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So let's do it a little faster. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So, if I do it in duple meter, row, 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 row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. It's in time, but it's kind of out of sync in a strange way. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So all of a sudden it feels smoother. So I would say that Row Your Boat is in triple meter, where Mary Had a Little Lamb is in duple meter. So those two right there are an example of simple duple or simple triple. And it gives a different feeling to the song. If we tried to do Mary Had a Little Lamb in triple, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. It feels a little bit off. Again, it doesn't move like Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. That feels smoother the way the song was actually written and intended to sound. Now, of course, this is about musical choices, not about what's right or what's wrong. So now I showed the difference, but I also showed that you can do either one of them either way. So it's just a matter of how do you want something to feel? So it starts with the actual meter. Then we can begin adding a tempo to it. How fast do we want to go or how slow? do we want to go? Then we can decide something like, do I want it to be in a major sound or in the major key, or do I want it in the minor key? So as we put those various things together, they're going to have a very profound effect on how the music sounds and what it's able to express and how it's going to affect those listening to it. So when we come back, I'm going to grab my guitar again, and we're going to put some of these things together, and we're going to see how they have an effect. And if you have some song choices, some song selections, anything that you'd like for me to maybe examine, feel free to type it in, and we can give it a shot either this week, next week, or any other week that we get to it. Because as long as you guys are here, I'll be here. Thank you, and we're going to come right back after this short break.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com. Back again.
Join prophetess Sophia Ruffin and prophetess Tish Shearer, sponsor of the Bridge Club crew, for the Prisoner of War in the Mind Conference at the Renaissance Concourse Atlanta Airport Hotel on June 2nd to June 4th. Are you ready for nights of networking, healing, and deliverance? Well, this is an event you don't want to miss. Call into the Bridge Club crew any Thursday from now to June 1st and be the 6th caller for your chance to win one of 2 free tickets to the event. The Prisoner of War in the Mind Conference. For more information and for ticket prices, visit powinthemind.eventbrite.com.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Willie from the Male Perspective on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. The Male Perspective is a show where men talk about things that men talk about, getting to the real meat and heart of the matter from the male perspective. No holds barred. The truth on 106liveradio.com. Also tune in to YouTube to watch us live. Call in 464-464-8785 and voice your opinion and be heard live from the Male Perspective.
The Word of God is the most instrumental part of a believer's life. How do we approach life while honoring the Word? Well, we want to talk about it. Join us on Life Talk as we talk through life with the Word every first and third Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on 106 Inspiration.
Maximize your brand. Calling all hosts. Have you ever dreamed of hosting your own show? Well, 106 Live Radio platform is looking for positive, creative, self-motivated individuals and groups. Here you can host your own program. If you are serious and interested in joining our growing platform, Team 106 is happy to host you at our state-of-the-art studio. Please reach out to us at 404-622-4152 or send us an email at contactus@106liveradio.com. Bring your best self.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web.
Greetings. This is Rodney Appleby, host of the Rodney Appleby Experience. To bring you quality programming, interesting guests, and entertaining performances, your support is very important. Donations, large and small, are always welcome. Sponsors are an important part of our ability to provide you the kind of experience you deserve. Please Go to 106liveradio.com/Rodney. There, you'll find a link to support the Rodney Appleby Experience. While tuned in on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe for alerts and updates. And you can download the 106 Live Radio app to receive notices of upcoming podcasts. And once again, thank you for your support.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to tell everyone else,
ladies and gentlemen,
about 106liveradio.com.
All right. Thank you all for coming back. All right. So, as promised, I grabbed my guitar. And what I would like to do, I want to play around now. I just want to play around. You know, I know that there's a lot of information that I want to share, but sometimes talking about it just doesn't help. And sometimes the best way to make it clear is just do it. So I want to play around with a few things. I want to just kind of mess around. And I want to take some of the things we've been talking about. So, for example, meter, whether it's duple or triple. And I want to add that to moving around some chord changes. Now, I have a few little things in front of me that I've kind of written out. Well, I didn't quite write them out. I typed them out. And what I've done, I have what's called the permutations or the septophonic equations, which takes 7 numbers and it rearranges them in different ways. Now, in this one, because there's so many rearrangements, I just wouldn't have time to do them all. I wouldn't have time to do them all if I took all week, because there's 5,040 possibilities. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm only going to take a few of them. And I'm going to start by keeping 1, 2, and 3 in place. Okay? So 1, 2, and 3 is always going to stay together with one another. And that's going to sound like this. And I'm going back to the key of C, by the way. So it's always going to sound like 1 and 2, 3. And then I'm going to go somewhere. It's going to either be 4, 5, 6, or 7, because that's what we have left. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then let's say the next one is 4. And then the next one is 5. And then the next one is 6. And then the next one is 7. And then we're back to 1, 2, 3. And now let's make the next one 5. And let's make the next one 4. Let's see, 5 to 4. And then 6, 7. Now let me just play that without saying anything. Now, let me see what happens when I go 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, 7. Okay, so let me try it again. Okay, now right now I think I'm doing everything in duple meter. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1. Yep, so everything's in duple meter. What would it feel like if I all of a sudden switched it over to triple meter? How would that sound all of a sudden? So let's see what happens. So I go 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, so it's a whole different feel. Now let's pick up the tempo a little bit with triple meter and see what happens if we move it faster. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Let's see. 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 Okay, let's slow it down a little bit and see what it feels like. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. Okay, so feels kind of like a ballad. Let's go back to duple meter. And now this time, instead of starting off with 1 2 3, let's start off with either 4 5 or 6. But we're always going to keep 1 2 and 3 together because I don't want to start getting into all those other possibilities. There's just too many. So let's see what happens if we start off with, let's say, 6, because 6 is the relative minor. So let's start off on 6 instead of 1 2 3. Let's go back to duple meter. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 Okay, so what if we go 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and let's start off on 4 this time. So we're going to go 4 5 6 7 1 2 3. Okay, so 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so has a little groove. Let's see if we do triple meter that fast. This time we're going to start on 5. So we're going to go 5 5 7 6 4. So that's going to be 5 7 6 4. 5 7 6 4. And then 1 2 3 5 7 6 4. And we're going to try triple meter, and we're going to try it medium tempo. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 Okay, so even moving it kind of fast, it has kind of a settled groove to it. So as you can see, moving things around, it really starts to make it really gives different vibes. Now I'm staying in one key. There's 11 other keys. So even though I'm playing in one key and I'm getting different possibilities, different chord changes, there's still many, many more possibilities. And here's again about musical choices. The rules actually tell us where we're starting from, but the rules don't tell us where we have to go. I can bend musical rules for creative reasons. For example, I can play the C, but then I can turn it to a minor. Okay? So I can do what I want to do with these chords. Just because the structure is structured a certain way, when I'm doing my creative use of them, creatively, the rules are just a way for me to know where I'm at. They're not meant to be a prison to keep me locked into a place. They're only there so that I can clearly identify where I started and where I ended up. So there's always what they call artistic liberties that one can take. And for example, in some songs you'll hear, for example, there's a gospel song, um, Amazing Grace will always be my song of praise, something like that, right? Well, in songs like that, they tend to use the chord changes because gospel music is very expressive, and it tends to use chord changes and things in a way that best kind of emote the song and not stick with some rigid set of rules. So if I go do 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 da 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 dum dum da da. Okay, now I don't know if anyone noticed, but when I did that dun, 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 I went from a dominant chord where it should be minor, and then I went to a minor chord where it should be minor, and then I went to a dominant chord where it should be dominant. Now I'm going to go to a minor chord where it should be dominant. Da, 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 da. Now I went to a dominant chord where it should be major. Da, 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 da. Now I'm using a little half diminish in order to tie some things together. Was blind, but now that should be minor structurally, but I'm playing it as dominant. But now I see. Okay? So when you're being creative about it, it's not as if the chords and the structures and the modes are telling you what you have to do. No, they're just showing you where things are and then allowing you to change them up any way you want to. So you don't ever really have to worry all that much about whether it's right or wrong. That's not really the idea of creative work. When you're doing creative work or making creative choices, it's not is this right or is this wrong? It's, does this feel the way it needs to feel? Does this sound the way it needs to sound? Does it cause the feeling or the response that it's intended to create? And whatever sound you need or however you need to treat it, then that's what you do. Sometimes when it's intended to lift or give more intensity, sometimes they just change key. And they change key in a way that we call modulating. And they only do that when they want to really bring another level of energy into the actual song. So let's say I'm singing da 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 da. So it starts to, it creates this other level of excitement. I actually wrote a song where with each verse, I modulated because I was getting the song to actually build in intensity and then at the end just kind of rest in that upliftment. And so modulation became a musical choice. It became a tool that I used in order to help better express the story inside the story that I was telling inside of the song. And so musical choices versus musical correctness. Musical choices, creative choices are meant to enhance the expression. Musical correctness is only to allow you to identify what you're using and how it all fits in, so that when you make your musical choices, they're much easier to do, much easier to follow, and you're more clear about what it is you're doing. So if we take any song, and actually, if you notice, the song is in major, but I play part of it in minor. Imagine if we actually started that song da 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 It's got an entirely different sound to it. And in fact, in a play that we were doing in Buffalo some years ago, it required using that song, but in a way that was really different. And so I took the words to Amazing Grace and I put them to the music of the House of the Rising Sun. And it fit the needs of the production so perfectly that a lot of folks forgot how the original song sounded because it fits so well. And so I'm going to switch key because I'm just tired of playing in C right now. So I'm going to play in G. And actually, because I'm in G minor, I am technically in the key of B flat major, even though it's the G minor, because G is the relative minor to the B flat. So oh, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Entirely different sound and an entirely different expression. And so the music actually has a lot to do with what the song actually could possibly mean. It's not just what it sounds like or how it feels, but the actual music itself can even determine what it means. And so using the actual musical choices becomes a powerful tool because of the effect that it can have on the actual delivery of the expression. So when we come back, I'm going to just wrap up for you guys and just kind of close it out and let you know how some of these things go. Don't y'all go away.
Broadcasting live from Atlanta while serving the entire globe. It's the fastest growing radio on the web. It's 106liveradio.com.
Back again.
Join prophetess Sophia Ruffin and prophetess Tish Shearer, sponsor of the Bridge Club crew, for the Prisoner of War in the Mind Conference at the Renaissance Concourse Atlanta Airport Hotel on June 2nd to June 4th. Are you ready for nights of networking, healing, and deliverance? Well, this is an event you don't want to miss. Call into the Bridge Club crew any Thursday from now to June 1st and be the 6th caller for your chance to win one of 2 free tickets to the event. The Prisoner of War in the Mind Conference. For more information and for ticket prices, visit powinthemind.eventbrite.com.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that mommy and daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad
This is
Council.
Willie from the Male Perspective on 106liveradio.com, where excitement meets diversity 24/7. The Male Perspective is a show where men talk about things that men talk about, getting to the real meat and heart of the matter from the male perspective. No holds barred. The truth on 106liveradio.com. Also tune in to YouTube to watch us live. Call in 404-464-8785 and voice your opinion and be heard live from the Male Perspective.
The Word of God is the most instrumental part of a believer's life. How do we approach life while honoring the Word? Well, we want to talk about it. Join us on Life Talk as we talk through life with the Word every first and third Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on 106 Inspiration.
maximize your brand. Calling all hosts. Have you ever dreamed of hosting your own show? Well, 106 Live Radio platform is looking for positive, creative, self-motivated individuals and groups. Here you can host your own program. If you are serious and interested in joining our growing platform, Team 106 is happy to host you at our state-of-the-art studio. Please reach out to us at 404-622-4152 or send us an email at contactus@106liveradio.com. Bring your best self.
All right, y'all. So I enjoyed tonight's discussion because what it allowed me to do was even remind myself of some things. Like, for example, as I was sitting here looking at these arrangement of numbers that I have, and I'll make a chart and I'll post them up one week so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. But as I arrange these numbers and I look at these chord changes, I'm beginning to see some real possibilities. And I think it's inspired me to head back to my own little home lab, my little home studio, and just run some things and see what I come up with, and maybe bring some stuff back with you, back for you to listen to. Some of the music that you hear, can you cue up the little song that you were just playing? Just cue up the one you were just playing. This song right here is one of the songs that came out of my little home studio. And some of the other music as well that you hear came from my home studio. So I'm going to head back to my studio, and I think I can find some real creative gems to work with out of these permutations and numbers. And having a kind of a week by week program, and being able to see these things, because I have to sit down, do my scripts, and work on the different content week by week, is putting me back in touch like when I used to teach a lot, and giving me kind of a reminder, oh yeah. And I'll tell y'all something. It's funny because when you've studied a lot and when you've done a lot of work in a certain field, it's easy to get complacent. It's easy to just kind of settle on what you do and what you know because it tends to work out and it's okay. And to forget to do the foundational work, that root work, the stuff that keeps everything firm and keep everything solid and fills in all the gaps and blanks. And so once again, my appreciation for being able to bring this content to you week by week is, I hope it is a benefit and fun for you guys. I can tell you that, again, just like in my teaching days, it's putting me back in touch with a lot of information that I had tend to just kind of let go by the wayside, not forgot about it, just don't put it to common use every day, because everything doesn't demand that you use everything that you know all the time. And sometimes things ask you to just use the little bit. Sometimes less is more. And it's important for an artist to stay in touch with the basics and continue to develop skills, because it's easy for things to slip away and then you have to work on them again. And that hard work, you don't want to lose the edge in terms of what you've developed. You want to keep those things sharp in your toolbox, so when you got to pull them out, they're there for you. So once again, you guys feel free to call. The number is always 404-464-8785. All of your input, all of your feedback, all of your contributions, and all of your joining in and being a participant in the discussions, it always helps to make it so rich and so full. So I look forward to you guys calling in. I look forward to bringing you guys some more guests. And pretty soon, I'm going to have the Ray Cafe open. And it's going to be right here in the studio, but you won't know it because I'm going to dress it up a little bit. And that's where me and some of my guests are going to do some of our live performances for you. So I'm looking forward to opening the Ray Cafe. And when we have the grand opening, I hope you guys are there. So once again, each week, tune in and share the experience. If it don't work one way, we'll just try it another way. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys again soon.
Feel our hearts and feel our minds. Feel everything we do. Oh love, here I am. Take me, my heart, my mind wide open. Please set me free. Tell us about love. Teach us all about love, yeah. Help us with love. Show us how to love. Touch every part of us, deep down in every heart of us, flowing through in everything we do. Bring joy where there's pain, turn loss into gain. Bring light where it's dark, free every heart. Oh love, there's nothing else but you. Feel our hearts and feel our minds, feel everything we do. Oh love, here I am, take me. With my heart and my mind wide open, please set me free. Love, oh love, oh love, love, oh love, oh love, love, oh love, oh love, love, oh love, ooh.